Theo's possessive tendencies surfaced only a few months into his romance with Todd. Initially, Todd dismissed the troubling red flags as a result of Theo's difficult history, convincing himself that patience and support would help his partner heal. But the situation has since spiraled dramatically. Todd's safety has repeatedly been threatened because of Theo's actions, leaving him feeling trapped in what has become a relentless ordeal. Since the storyline unfolded, Todd has endured a series of disturbing incidents. Here's a recap of some of the most significant developments. In the beginning, Theo's behavior grew increasingly domineering. He criticized Todd's food choices and even went so far as to shove kebab meat into his mouth against his will. As time went on, the abuse intensified. Theo forced Todd into an extreme fitness routine, enrolling him in a marathon despite his clear objections. He persistently manipulated Todd, accusing him of causing problems and interfering where he shouldn't, while gradually cutting him off from close friends like Summer Spellman and Billy Mayhew. When Todd reached breaking point and considered ending the relationship, Theo resorted to self-harm. Overwhelmed with guilt and fear, Todd felt compelled to stay after Theo vowed to seek professional support. Physical violence also became part of the pattern. Theo humiliated Todd by tipping milk over his head, slammed him into a mirror, and assaulted him more than once. A specially formatted episode last year, told entirely through various camera perspectives, showed Theo imprisoning Todd in the bathroom overnight before provoking him into retaliating. After Todd pushed him away, Theo crashed onto a coffee table and was hospitalized, while Todd was taken into custody on suspicion of assault. Tragically, the incident convinced neighbors that Todd was the aggressor in the relationship. Desperate to expose the truth, Todd secretly installed surveillance cameras in their apartment. However, Theo discovered them and manipulated the recordings to portray himself as the victim. At the beginning of 2026, a glimmer of hope appeared when Todd finally opened up to Billy about the abuse he had been enduring. He nearly found the courage to leave Theo for good, but that hope was shattered when Billy died during the Corrie crossover event. Unbeknownst to Todd, Theo was responsible for Billy's death after locking him inside the minibus moments before it exploded. It was later revealed that Todd was not Theo's first victim. Theo remained composed when confronted by his former partner Owen during a night out on Canal Street. Owen accused him of being abusive, yet Theo deflected the blame by claiming Owen had been the controlling one in their past relationship. When Todd raised concerns, Theo twisted his words, suggesting he was behaving just like Owen and falsely accusing him. In the February 16th episode of Coronation Street, viewers were given a subtle hint about what may lie ahead for the now-engaged couple. Theo's latest tactic involves strict control over Todd's finances, limiting the amount of money he can access each week. After ridiculing Todd about his allowance, Theo ominously remarked that marriage would ensure Todd could never escape him. In a tense closing moment, Todd was shown gripping a knife. With Theo among the 5 possible victims teased in Corrie's flashforward storyline, confirming a death will occur in April, the question looms: could Todd ultimately be the one who ends Theo's life? If Theo is not the body discovered by Betsy Swain in the coming weeks, how might this dark chapter conclude? Given the hints dropped in the flashforward, Todd could potentially face imprisonment if he kills Theo. On the other hand, fleeing Weatherfield might be Todd's only option if he hopes to finally break free. Until the truth unfolds on screen, audiences can only speculate about how this harrowing saga will reach its climax. 14 major Coronation Street spoilers for next week, 23 to 27 February. Next week in Coronation Street, Bernie finds herself under arrest after Mal is brutally attacked. Elsewhere, Jodie is unsettled when someone from her history resurfaces, while Steve is faced with troubling information regarding Jim. Here's a breakdown of 14 dramatic developments ahead. Ends Mal unsettles Bernie. Bernie is alarmed when Mal bolts the cafe door and admits he has feelings for her. She immediately rejects him, but her fear intensifies as his demeanor turns dark and unsettling. Her terror grows when she discovers her face has been cut out of her wedding photograph. Convinced Mal is responsible, she confronts him and demands he leave Weatherfield or she'll involve the authorities. 2. Bernie opens up to Kit. With Dev and Asha away, Bernie feels vulnerable at number 7. Hearing a knock, she prepares to defend herself with a golf club, only to discover it's Kit at the door. She confides in him about her encounter with Mal and his increasingly disturbing conduct. Later, Mal causes a scene in the cafe and Roy has no choice but to eject him. When Dev and Asha return, Bernie is left wondering whether to confess everything. 3. Mal suffers a brutal attack. In a heated exchange, Bernie warns Mal to keep his distance or face dire consequences, unaware that someone nearby overhears the confrontation. Soon after, Lisa informs Kit that a man with a serious head injury has been found unconscious in the street. Kit is stunned to learn it's Mal, who is later revealed to be in critical condition in hospital. Meanwhile, Bernie hurriedly prepares to leave. 4. Bernie is taken into custody. D.C. Browning arrests Bernie on suspicion of assault. While in a holding cell, Bernie insists to Kit that she has done nothing wrong. During questioning, she recounts Mal's harassment in their previous night together. But is she revealing the entire truth? 5. Jodie rejects Carl. Carl reaches out to Jodie via text, but she finally takes advice and firmly tells him to back off. At the same time, Ronnie fumes when Debbie ignores his concerns and instructs him to send Carl £2,000. Ronnie confides in Ed, worried that Carl may be exploiting Debbie. Later, Jodie dismisses Carl once again, unaware that someone is secretly trailing her. 6. Jodie's history resurfaces. A mysterious woman watches Jodie from afar, wearing a locket identical to hers. Following a tense encounter with Toya, Jodie is shaken when Olivia unexpectedly appears. Olivia questions why she left and reminds her how devoted she once seemed to caring for her and her brother. Jodie struggles to respond. Later, she retrieves a hidden box from a cupboard, exposing a secret she has long concealed. 7. Jodie grows closer to David. After enjoying a pamper session with Shona, Jodie bristles when Bethany and Maria describe David and Shona as the ideal couple. Soon after, Shona realizes her wedding ring has vanished. David returns home to find Jodie reaching behind the sofa in search of it. As she asks for his assistance, it's clear she relishes the intimate moment between them. 8. Shona plans a romantic gesture. Jodie attempts to stir trouble by implying David has neglected his household responsibilities. Meanwhile, Shona confides that she and David rarely spend quality time together, prompting Bethany to suggest a romantic solution. 9. Steve learns troubling news about Jim. Steve receives a call from Jim's landlord demanding overdue rent and discovers he's been listed as guarantor. Further inquiries reveal that Jim has been hospitalized and doctors fear he may not survive. 10. Steve faces a difficult decision. Cassie encourages Steve to visit his father, but Tracy reminds him of the pain Jim caused in the past. Ben offers to drive him to the hospital. However, upon arrival, Steve hesitates and remains seated in the car, questioning whether seeing Jim is the right choice. 11. Cassie prepares a surprise. Steve, Ben, and Tim attend a county event before celebrating at the Rovers, enjoying a lively evening playing darts. Amid the fun, Steve misses a call from Jim. The following morning, he wakes up in the pub's back room after overindulging. Later, he tells Cassie he intends to put Jim behind him, believing he already has everything he needs. Unbeknownst to him, Cassie is secretly organizing a special surprise. 12. Christina causes complications for George. Christina jokingly suggests that George influences clients into altering their wills, only to realize Mrs. Ripley has overheard. Matters escalate when Adam informs George that Annie has hired him to challenge her mother's will and advises him to seek legal counsel. Christina attempts to repair the damage with Mrs. Ripley. 13. George worries about his reputation. George debates rejecting the £10,000 inheritance left to him, but Christina warns that doing so could appear suspicious. Adam later reveals that Annie has accused Christina of collusion and plans to take legal action against them both. During a meeting with Mrs. Ripley's son, Annie interrupts and casts further doubt on George's integrity. 14. Maggie voices her disapproval. Lauren is delighted when Ollie asks her out for dinner, but Maggie makes it clear she isn't pleased. Issuing a subtle warning, Maggie reminds Lauren that her job exists thanks to her influence. Will Lauren reconsider the date? Coronation Street airs weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and is available to stream on ITVX.